Earl Pearson, number 24 for the Braves. Inside, number 2, Taft Waters for the Jolters. Hammered block in there by Pearson. Waters coming back up. Waters with a block now. Waters tying him up. Here comes McPherson back. Whoa! Pearson over the rail. Over the top. Yeah, he's back up there quick. Now McPherson trying to lead in for Waters. Larry Lee on defense for the Braves. Here comes Earl Pearson back up for the Braves. Look out, guys. And Waters takes no chances, calls it off. He had a man up on the rail, probably would have been scored over. No score on the play.
I tell you what, that was a great play by Taft. Just being able to watch where he was going and find out who was coming up behind him.
Staying on top of it, 24-22. The Jolters continue to lead by 2. Let's watch it again on replay.
Now watch this. McPherson throwing blocks. Larry Lee sidestepping him. McPherson went all the way to the top of the track, and Taft cut it off before Earl the Pearl could get through there.
Yep. Back reforming now.
Good play.
It's been tight here in the second half, Nick, but first half of the game was wide open. It looked like the Jolters were really going to walk away with it.
You know something? I guess this Taft has been skating now for about 10 years. And this guy is just as fast today as he was the day he first stepped on that track. You know that?
He doesn't slow down at all, not in the quarter-mile time trials, at least. You remember those, Nick?
Oh, yeah, I do remember those. I think Taft could probably take every jam in the game, the way he's looking now.
He is in shape. Back together, here come the Jammers. Jolters will have the man out on top, number 0, Johnny Rice. Braves head coach, Cal Stevens. We haven't seen this yet. And that's all for a very unhappy Johnny Rice. Alfonso Reyes out after Stevens. Both coaches with Jammers helmets on this time. Reyes in the lead. Blocked by Stevens. They're at the rear. Sidestep Reyes over the rail and off the track. Now, Larry Lee leads in for Cal Stevens. Stevens trying to battle his way in. He's by McPherson. He's moving in. Another Brave down. It's called off by Stevens.
Boy, he ran into some awful heavy traffic up in there in the pack.
Ray's back in the track. There were 2 Brave points on that jam. Ties at 24-24, and we have got a timeout on the track. Timeout called. The score all tied up. The Northeast Braves 24 and the Southern Jolters 24. Back to the action now. The San Jose Civic Auditorium. We had a broken kick rail out there, and I think Reyes did that when he hit it going over.
Look at the section of track he knocked out when he hit that thing. that's 20-foot sections. Now, here's a replay of Alfonso on that last play. He's cut down on the inside, gets sidestepped, gets picked up on top, throws a block. Now, watch the whole thing just shattered right there.
That's where it broke, right there.
It moved out about 2 feet.
All right, we're back to the action now. We got a jam going. Both pivot skaters moving up on the rear of the pack. Darnay McPherson, number 8 of the Jolters, gets rid of Larry Lee. Lee scrambling back up is a quarter lap behind McPherson, however. Alfonso Reyes will be back to handle defense for the Jolters, and Larry Lee blocks McPherson high. Lee makes a move on the outside. Reyes blocking again. Larry Lee, number 29, the lead jammer for the Braves. Here comes a Jolter jammer, McPherson, moving into the picture. A block McPherson put down again by Lee. Pearson down. Lee's got to worry about him as he moves to the outside. Reyes caught in there. It's called off by Larry Lee. There he is, 1. Northeast Brave point, and look, well, who's he talking to up there?
I think he's talking to himself right now. But I'll tell you what, it took 3 guys to get by him, you know. And you got to give him a lot of credit. He's a good blocker. He's a good jammer. The guy can do almost anything. Look at this. They're still trying to get him through there. There's 3 of them.
His eye caught Cal Stevens in there, I believe. He just wasn't ready for that move by Larry Lee. That does break the tie, though. 25-24, rather. Northeast Braves have taken the lead away, and the Southern Jolters have not found the easy skating that they had in the first half at all here.
No, I'll tell you what, I think the temperature in the building, I think the game that they're having, which is a very, very tough game, I think all these things are starting to take their toll now. This 3rd period, the 4th period, it may be even worse. You know, you don't know, one of these teams is just going to almost flat give out.
Okay, jammers moving up. And Alfonso Reyes, the Jolter coach, taking things into his own hands here, moving out as a jammer. Number 25, Rob Mendelson for the Braves, has the pace, or has the lead rather, and Reyes lets him set the pace. Now he's going to make a move. Held on to the inside, Mendelson over the rail. Now Cal Stevens, number 27, Brave coach, back on defense. Waiting, and Reyes
I think he cut it off.
He did.
He was pulling up his shorts and cut the jam off.
Ray's was stalling for a little time. He wanted to see somebody come back to help him. Pulling the trucks up, that's the signal. Both hands on your hips, that calls the play off.
He is hot now.
Ray's unhappy about it.
And there's nobody that he can yell at except for Sam. Look at Marcy. Marcy knows it. Hey, sorry, pal.
I just call him. No score on that play. It remains 25-24 Braves.
And I'll tell you what happened. When he hit Mendelson up into that rail, that kid hit the rail so hard, he popped his shorts, too. He was pulling on his.
A minute 45. Time on the clock here in the sixth period. Now, Ray's unhappy with the track announcer, Hugh Kendall.
You think these guys aren't tired out there?
Ray's arguing with anybody within earshot right now.
He's still pulling at his shorts.
Yeah, call it off now. I got a blocker's helmet on.
Whistle sound. 1 minute.
Okay, this could well be the last jam here in the sixth period.
Yeah, Earl Pearson for the Braves, followed by Tap Waters.
Earl Pearson, 24 for the Braves, followed by Taft Waters, number 2, Southern Jolters.
They've been going at it all night, too, Kenny.
They have. They've been really playing man-on-man in the jamming department.
Yeah.
Pearson side step. Waters wasn't there. Pearson was putting
Taft.
everything he had into that one. He really committed himself. Now Ray's trying to assist, blocking Larry Lee at the rear. He's got Waters by for 1. Clock now 4 taken high. It's called off by Waters. There are 2 Southern Jolter points.
And the Jolters now.
And that'll put the Jolters in front. 26-25. The score seesawing back and forth here in the sixth period.
Boy, they are working hard for everything they're getting, too. Let me tell you.
Now Pearson and Waters have been paired off jamming all night long, and look out.
I was just going to say, I think Earl is barking up the wrong tree right now. Taft don't do too much out there. He minds his own business. He skates his jams. He works hard. Don't bother him.
20 seconds on the clock. They'll not get a scoring play underway, I would wager.
Well, you know how we always do each week, Kenny. We always say, we'll wager it doesn't happen, and it does, you know.
10 seconds now, clock running. They won't this time, Nick, I'm sure. 5 seconds. There's a whistle. We do have a jammer out, but there's 2. 1. It's over. It's over. Rice trying to race too late. So the score, a timeout called here. The score at the end of the sixth skating period, the Southern Jolters 26, Northeast Braves 25. Okay, the gals on the track for the seventh period of skating, their final period in regulation time. 26-25 game right now. Southern Jolters on top of the Northeast Braves by 1 point. And I'm happy to have with me right now up here while Nick Skopas takes a little breather, the coach of the San Francisco Bay Bombers, Cliff Butler. And Cliff, we'll be talking to you in just a second. Right now on this jam, Sandy Dunn, the women's captain for the Southern Jolters, out and on top. The Braves without a jammer. The Braves trailing 26-25. Jolters would like to open it up. First half of the game, they were leading by 5-6 points all the way. It has not been that way here in the second half. And Calvello on defense now. Checking Dunn, riding her high. Another block in there by Calvello. Here comes a Brave jammer coming up from way behind is number 24, Kathy Boaz. And the officials have stopped the play here as we've got something down, or someone down, in the Brave turn. There is a Brave skater down there. Cliff Butler, let me ask you, do you think the Braves with Tony Smith out of the lineup are really...
No, they're not. You've got Larry Lee out there, who's a great asset to the Brave organization. He takes a lot of slack up that Tony is not able to administer right now, I think. He's a rough skater all the way around. He can do anything. He's a very flexible person, you know, and I don't think that they really miss him that much, although the only thing that is missing is the beef.
And then when you get Cal Stevens in the penalty box, you take a big drop then.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes...
You got your best jammer, Larry Lee. He's got to wear the pivot. He's got to anchor the pack, and it's got to hurt him, I think.
Right. Well, you know, he pulls through sometimes and does his job like he's supposed to do it, you know. He's very well experienced when it comes to something like that. Plus, he has a lot of other skaters on his team, like Earl Pearson, who can do the jamming, too.
Okay, on the jam right here now. Number 4, Catherine Shaw leads for the Jolters. The Braves, number 22, Gloria Nickler. 28-25 game. Jolters leading by 3 points. They scored on that last play. 2 points. Nickler setting the pace. Shaw will just stay with her until they get to the rear. Where we will have both captains back to do the defensive blocking. And Cavallo for the Braves. Sandy Dunn back there for the Jolters.
25 seconds left.
Just under a half a minute remaining in jam time here. Dunn with a block to the outside. Elbow by Ann Cavallo. Another block in there by Cavallo.
15 seconds left in the jam.
Each team trying to get a jammer in for points.
Dunn says Nickler.
Got a little over 10 seconds remaining in the jam by now.
Jammer still fighting, trying to get in.
Shaw coming up on the outside. Elbow by Ann Cavallo, the veteran. And time in this jam is running out. Nickler goes down. Cavallo puts Shaw to the rail. There is the horn. There is no score. So it remains 28 Southern Jolters, 25 Northeast Braves. Cliff, what do you think about the women's field, these two teams against each other?
Well, it's been a rough game so far, and everybody looks to be a little tired, but they're still out there trying to hang, and I could respect that. But they really giving it a shot for what it's worth. You know, this is the later part of the game, and like I say, they do get tired. We do get tired out there. So they're trying to do it.
It's a very warm night tonight, Cliff, excuse me. That's got to take something out of you, too. And this is a capacity house, a near sellout here at the San Jose Civic Auditorium. And the heat has got to affect you late in the game.
Oh, yeah. When it gets hot like this.
Take a look. We say wall-to-wall people. We mean it.
Yeah, well, when it gets hot like this, the track temper changes, and the track sometimes gets slicker, and sometimes it starts to grab, and if you fall on it, sometimes you leave a piece of meat back on the track. You know, it depends on what happens.
Okay, here we go on the jam right now. Both women's captains. And Cavallo, Sandy Dunn on the inside, and that's all for Cavallo. So it's going to be offense, Jolters, defense, Pioneers, or the Braves rather right now.
And dropping to the rear of the pack.
Sandy Dunn yelling something to the trackside announcer, Hugh Kendall, as she comes by.
31 seconds left.
Half a minute, the time remaining. Here's a classic confrontation. Ann Cavallo on defense and Sandy Dunn on offense. Skaters carry back there. Dunn may have points already. Ramping elbow by Cavallo, working on Dunn again.
20 seconds to go.
About 20 seconds remaining in jam time. Again, Sandy Dunn, number 8, women's captain for the Jolters, the only one here that can score. Block to the outside again. Cavallo continuing to work on Dunn. 10 seconds, all that remains. Dunn trying to get one more effort in. An elbow block by Cavallo. Dunn put down and does not like it. And there's the horn.
If you notice, if you see the expression on Sandy's face, that's what I was just talking about, the track being sticky when it gets hot like this. And it's very hard to skate.
All right, let's watching the blocking again on replay. And I think what you're talking about is that masonite tends to open up, and like a sponge, it tends to suck moisture out of the atmosphere.
Yes, it does. And like I say, the track is very slick. This is the reason why we have plaster of Paris on the infield right now, to try and compensate for that, so we won't slip and slide.
Dunn's still hurting as she's back on her skates. She only slid about 2 feet when she hit.
That's right. If you get a good amount of slide, you can roll right back up, get back on your feet again, and start going. But a lot of times, when the track is like it is, you'll hit and you stick. There's a mark on the track you can see there on just the left-hand side.
That's where she went down, and that's all she moved.
And it's only about 2 feet, like you say.
Okay, 30-25. It is a 5-point lead now for the Southern Jolters, and they're starting to open up. They dominated throughout the first half of the game and seesawed back and forth the last couple of periods, but now the Jolters seem to be opening something up here. The Braves have a jammer on top, number 27, Jackie Grillo. Also out is number 24, Kathy Boas. The Jolters, number 2, Rita Williams, the lead jammer. On their secondary is number 4, Catherine Shaw. There are your lead jammers. Jackie Grillo hit, another shoulder in there by Williams. Williams all over Grillo now.
Referee, giving her a warning.
Grillo, look out. These two have tangled before. Grillo and Williams. And the jam has been called off. There will undoubtedly be penalties called here. And we'll have a timeout called on the track. Timeout called on the track here now as they sort this out. The score standing. The Southern Jolters 30. Midwest, or the Northeast Braves rather, 25. Okay, back timeout over now. It's all sorted out. Penalties on Williams and Grillo, both teams fielding 4 skaters.
Kenny, I want to thank Cliff for sitting in for a little bit, and
we're glad to have him with us,
giving us his views on what he's seeing out there, you know.
Jam underway here now. We've got 2-2, both teams, both potential scores. The Jammers out. For the Jolters, it is number 3, Kathy Ramus, number 0, Lena Moore. For the Braves, number 29. And then it's Althea Gandy, along with number 24, Kathy Boaz.
Well, he could have made a heck of a secondary. He was sitting here writing things down I couldn't even understand.
Block at the rear by Ann Cavallo gets rid of the lead Jolter. That was Ramus. Block in there. Moore also down. Cavallo's got 2 Jammers that can score points. Ooh, Gandy on the inside. Cavallo blocking again. I know Gandy's got a point. Boaz has not got in. Gandy calls it off. So let's see what they say. There is 1 Brave point. Cavallo would have liked to have seen more.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a job of blocking by Dunn in there on that particular play.
She was surrounded. She had 2 Jammers and Ann Cavallo to worry about.
2 Jammers. She got knocked high by Cavallo, and somehow she picked up the jammer on the outside that was just starting to drop down on her inside. And that's an awfully tough play to make. And then just to have 1 point scored, I thought it was great.
Cavallo a little unhappy that that's all she got. 30-26, it does chip a point away. The Braves trail the Jolters now by only 4 points. Cavallo still reading the riot act to somebody down there. I think half of that is in Italian, Nick.
Well, you can always see the hands moving, you know.
Yeah. It's all Greek to me.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, Jammers moving up now. Jolters again, as they have consistently done tonight, breaking a jammer on top. Number 4, Catherine Shaw. Nick, I'd say 3 out of every 4 jams, the Jolters have the advantage, the lead jammer.
Oh yeah, and you know it's a psychological advantage just to shake that jammer out on top, because the secondary jammer season is, oh my goodness, I got to go catch that person, whoever it is, you know, and you got to start digging and work hard. Then you're trying to figure out, well, where should I throw my block? What happens if they sidestep? Boy, you're in a lot of trouble when you're second.
Yeah. On this jam right now, number 4, Catherine Shaw, again the lead over number 25 of the Braves. That is Doreen Ross, rookie with the team.
Only 22 seconds left in jam.
About 20 seconds remaining. They're not going to have much time to work with back here. Sandy Dunn and block on the outside. Dunn and Cavallo, the 2 captains, back on defense. Ross is nailed back there now. Block on Shaw. Now Dunn trying to get Cavallo out of there. Cavallo doesn't buy that. She stays back, block on Shaw. And time beginning to run short in this jam. Elbow block. Less than 5 seconds here. Cavallo shot on Dunn. Checks Shaw back. And time ran out there. There's the reason why Cavallo let Shaw go by her. Time had run out. No score.
Fine blocking effort by Annie, keeping Dunn in front of her and Shaw behind her. Like I've mentioned several times in the last few telecasts when the Jolters have been skating, this Catherine Shaw has just been doing a fine job for her team out there.
That's Catherine Shaw right now up on the rail.
Oh, Catherine, you look fresh as a daisy, my dear.
And Cavallo.
I'll tell you, she's really amazing, though, Annie. You know, here's a gal 50 years old. She's out there doing everything. She's jamming, she's blocking, she's whipping people. That's incredible.
In her 31st year of skating, we might say, on the next track.
Same age as I am.
Break it out. Read away.
We got just a little over a minute here. Jam underway. This will be the last jam in the 7th period, the final women's period. Jackie Garello for the Braves on the inside. Rita Williams on the outside. These 2 have had at it all night long. That got sidestepped by Garello. Elbow to the inside by Garello. Another block by little Jackie Garello. Both moving up in scoring position. Both captains back on defense. Cavallo and Sandy Dunn. Garello on the inside. Look out. Garello almost squeaking in there. May have got by some, and she dives. It's called off. Excuse me.
4 Northeast Brave points picked up by
Little Jackie Garello scoring 4 Northeast Brave points. Nick, that's got to be a big play.
Oh, yeah, it is. It ties the game up. At least going to let the boys go into the last period here.
Look out.
Easy. Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
Now here comes Ann Cavallo in there. Now Cavallo going after Dunn. Here we go. It's a 30-all tie game, and time in the period has run out, trying to pull Cavallo and Dunn apart. And Dunn goes down. We've got a timeout called on the track. The end of 7 full periods of skating. It's all tied up. The Southern Jolters 30 and the Northeast Braves 30. Okay, we're back, and this is the replay of what started. Well, this is live. We have no replay here. Cavello's still storming, and here's how it all started before this timeout.
Sandy grabbed Jackie, was giving her what for, and here comes Rita Williams and decides, well, let me put a little taste on her chin there. And the two ladies are having at it. And look at these punches getting in there in the midsection. Oh, my goodness. And a heck of a knee that come in there. But now, just to the right of that, just to the right of Annie now. Oh, you missed it.
We're back to the action now. Okay. The men coming out of the track now for the 8th and final period, 30-30. We've got a tie game. There's the pack forming up. We might mention that this telecast is produced strictly for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any other use, reproduction, or retransmission of this game without the expressed written permission of DJL Productions or the International Roller Skating League is strictly prohibited. Mind you to remember that. Jammers moving out. Number 7, Steve Sartain for the Jolters, along with number 2, Taft Waters. There they are, the lead Jammers. Brave Jammers moving, but behind Earl Pearson, 24. And number 22, Phil Moore, blocking at the rear. It's called off. There are 2 Jolter points. A point apiece for Taft Waters and Steve Sartain. Blocking in the pack, set it up.
That's what we were talking about earlier in the game, Kenny. They're starting to double team again, picking up the quick hitters, picking up 1 point, 2 points. And if they continue to do that for another couple of minutes, the game is going to be out of reach for the Braves.
Tie broken, 32-30. Jolters right back out in front. And they, as you said, Nick, they've been doing that with regularity all night long. There's Taft Waters, one of the 2 that scored on the last play up the rail with his coach, number 10, Alfonso Reyes, who is busy in the pack setting those points up.
Boy, that's right, too. And he's the one that's calling the plays in there for his team, you know. So a lot of people say, oh, he's a dummy, he can't do this, he can't do that, you know. But the guy's doing everything out there. His team is the one that's winning.
He's had him on top throughout the entire first half. And it seesawed back and forth a little bit at the beginning of the second half, the first 2 periods. But now the Jolters have come back to dominate. Tie score at the end of the 7th period, as close as the Braves have got for a while. Jammers moving up and out. There they go, Johnny Rice. And number 7, Steve Sartain for the Jolters.
Another double team back there.
Here we go, 25. Yep, another Brave taken up on the rail. Yep. Larry Lee.
Another 2 points for the Jolters.
Same play works twice.
This is just like skating in a roller rink when it's that easy. Just skate around, put your hands on your hips, cut it off, pick up 2 points.
Those are the fun points to score. Look at Johnny Rice up there.
Oh, yeah, he knows it.
Yeah, put those in the record book.
Boy, you ain't lying there either. I didn't even hurt myself.
34-30, the Southern Jolters back out to a 4-point lead now. Again, this is the 8th and final period of action, barring an overtime. No game could end in a tie score. If it went to overtime, Nick, we'd have the gals up for 5 minutes, sudden death.
Well, that's what makes it such a really good game. You know, Kenny, the girls can go out there, and sometimes they even come off with a game tied after 5 minutes, and the guys will go out there, and it's a complete team effort. You look in the infield, and everybody's standing up cheering for everybody else. You know, I really love that.
And in overtime, it gets to be a very, very defensive game, too.
Oh, yeah.
Allow a point.
Yes,
we got
sir.
a jam here now. This is 3 jams in a row for Steve Sartain, number 7 of the Jolters. Number 22 for the Braves is Dave Merez. Merez a block, has the lead. Sartain back on the inside. Moving up in the rear of the pack now. Jolters will have Darnay McPherson, number 8, to block. The Braves, number 29, Larry Lee. They're both operating as pivot skaters here, wearing the pivot helmets, but operating as blockers in the pack right now. Sartain spun off the rail. Merez staggered back there. He's back up. Lee checking Sartain. McPherson set. Merez comes up into a block. Blocked back in there by Earl Pearson. Takes Sartain out. Blocked back on Merez by the Jolter defenseman, Darnay McPherson.
Fine job by McPherson back there. He had 3 of them back there.
Here's Sartain up again, blocked out by Larry Lee. Now Johnny Rice back blocking for the Jolters. Blocked back in there again by Pearson, taking Sartain out. Back up, and time has run out. There is no score on the play.
And Johnny Rice dropped back to help Darnay. It was good team effort all the way around there. They didn't want any more points scored against them.
You see the man in the infield, his arm in a sling and a cast is Tony Smith, big number 26 of the Northeast Braves. He's got a fractured elbow, I believe, Nick.
Right, yeah, he's going to be out for about 3 weeks. And what he's doing in there right now is he's trying to pick up plays that these guys have been using tonight to score on, and he's letting the guys know about it. So he's still useful to the team, even though he is hurt, you know, although his presence is missed on the track.
Yeah, it sometimes helps to have somebody on the infield. You don't get all caught up in the action. little cooler eye on what's really happening out there. On this jam, now this is 4 in a row for Steve Sartain. We have 2 number 7s tonight. That's right. Tom Aravello is also wearing a number 7 jersey. He's taken out by Earl Pearson. Pearson gets a warning, but not a penalty on his blocking. He was warned. Look out, Darnay McPherson in trouble. Larry Lee here. You may have been right, Nick. Here comes Earl Pearson. He gets by Alfonso Reyes. And it's called off. There were 2 Northeast Brave points scored on that play. Makes it 34-32, and it cuts the Jolters' lead to 2, Nick.
Yes, it does. And these 2 guys, I have to go way back in this game. Here's a replay on this. He comes through the inside with Sartain, with Aravello, and really puts the wood to him up in here. He starts to lose his outside foot. He goes down. Larry Lee's going to start helping me. He starts the assist here on Darnay. He takes Darnay high. He's going to take off again, come up, and they're going to pin Alfonso up by the rail. Alfonso couldn't go anywhere.
And he didn't like that either.
No, he didn't. Although the block was missed, Alfonso still had no chance to make a play.
Okay, back to live action now. We have a triple whip at the end of it. Taft Waters out for the Jolters.
Look at him hold it.
In trouble. Here comes Earl Pearson coming up for the Braves on the inside. Waters taken out.
Fine effort on both their parts. Taft was trying to hold it.
Earl Pearson now coming up in the rear of the pack. He's going to have help. Larry Lee, number 29, there to assist Earl Pearson.
Braves trailing by 2.
Braves are down by 2 points here. Taft Waters is going to do the blocking. Waters riding Pearson. Oh, look out. Pearson coming back down. Now Alfonso Reyes backstopping, trying to prevent any Brave help from getting back there to assist. Waters handles the defense. Runs Pearson up on the rail. Look out. Warning to Waters there on that. Pearson, the only man out as a jammer, but he can get nobody back there to assist him. Now trying a little fancy footwork on the inside. Lee got back to blindside Waters. It's called off by Earl Pearson.
Good play again.
One more Northeast Brave point. There's Waters down on the track. 34-33. We've got a timeout score called now. Timeout on the track here in the 8th and final period. As the score stands, the Southern Jolters 34, Northeast Braves 33. Coming out of the timeout here at the San Jose Civic Auditorium, it's a 34-33 game. Southern Jolters over the Northeast Braves in the final 5 minutes of play. Whoa! Larry Lee has got rid of his companionship out there. The Jolters, Darnay McPherson dumped. Alfonso Reyes, Jolter coach, quickly back on defense. And again, the Braves have the only man in scoring position, but they are working awfully hard to pick up those points. Raised all over Lee, hammers with the elbow, wraps another block on Lee. Jolter jammer coming up, Tom Aravello. And they double team him now. Pearson double team. Aravello to the inside. Lee stays in there. Now Ray's trying to lead in for his man. Goes after Earl Pearson. Lee has got the lead. Aravello in. Jam called off.
I think he's picked up a deuce.
He did it. There are 2 Northeast Brave points. And Nick, that had to be tearing that play out of the Jolters playbook. They were trying to work something back there.
Yes, they were. I think Alfonso made a mistake by calling Aravello back with him. He should have just let him go ahead up, start getting blocked out.
Let's watch
Here's
it again.
a replay on it. Well, it's not up yet. Here we go now. See, he's trying to tell Aravello to cut it off. Oh, here, all right.
Yeah, see, Reyes was still trying. Now he's still trying to get an assist in there on Pearson.
See, Alfonso was either pulling his shorts up like he was before, or he was telling him to cut it off. And the kid,
I think he
was
frantically trying to tell him to cut it off. I'm sure.
Well, I misunderstood it watching it the second time too. So you know, it's quite possible he did too.
In any case, the Northeast Braves have got back in the lead here, 35-34. A slim 1-point lead. Jolters, the man out on top, number 2, Taft Waters.
I tell you what, if you need a point, that's the guy to send out there.
Sure is. Earl Pearson, number 24, for the Braves. He's got the lead.